Greetings again, adventurers, and welcome back to Let's Play Revelations Persona. And much like the Super Gaming Bros, I'm going to be opening each episode of Let's Play Revelations Persona with a greeting from the mighty Vishnu. And in the last episode, we visited the sports clubs in the gymnasium of St. Hermelin High. And we were about to depart when we ran into Nate's butler, Alfred, who was very concerned for his safety, given that he'd heard the news about how Nate and the rest of us had passed out. Nate, however, is not well, though he understands Alfred's duties as a butler, doesn't really care for the fact that he has a tendency to refer to Nate as Sir Nate, a point that Mark will never let go in the slightest, will never let him live it down. And Nate is still very upset over Alfred's appearance. Meanwhile, Mark is surprised that Nate even has a butler, and he's still laughing at Alfred's antics outside the entrance there. Let's see what Yukino has to say about this. Indeed he does, because unlike a certain Caped Crusader, Nate's parents are still very much alive, although being heads of the Trinity Family Trust, the major conglomerate here in Lunarvale, they don't really have time to educate Nate. Instead, all of those duties and then some are pretty much have been given to Alfred to deal with, and neither Alfred nor Nate pretty much have any qualms about that particular arrangement. Now, Nate does have a tendency to behave in a very snobbish fashion. In fact, one could very much say without any fear of contradiction that he is a spoiled rich kid, but there is more to him than meets the eye. We didn't faint in a storage room, we fainted in a classroom. There's a difference. And the student doesn't care one way or the other. One more person over here we can talk to, who apparently watched what was going on outside. I believe that is pretty much everything we can do or want to do here at St. Hermelin High, so let us leave for real this time. And that is a very nice tower here. We saw this school entrance in the opening intro of Let's Play Revelations Persona. Very elaborate clock tower. Some very nice tennis courtyards over there, if we were interested in playing tennis. That would be the bike racks, but we are not going to... well, we don't have bikes. Instead we're going to walk on foot to the hospital, or we can run. Farewell, St. Hermelin. We shall be on our way. But first of all, we have this trusty map in order to tell us not only the landmarks here in Lunarvale, but also how to get to the hospital in general. It's in the northeast, as one of the students so helpfully told us previously. And there are some very quaint 1996 PlayStation graphics there. Pretty revolutionary for the time, but fairly dated by today's standards. And we're going to be exploring Lunarvale before we actually head to the hospital to see Mary. And our first destination is going to be this, the Newrich residence. In we go. And it's a full moon. And this is the old lady that we heard about while in high school. Mrs. Newrich is an old lady that came across a lot of money just recently. In Megami Ibanroku Persona, she's called Katsue Kaneda. and Nate doesn't think highly of the treasures that she acquired from the ruins. To him, it's all worthless junk. And even Yukino doesn't have a very high opinion of Mrs. Newrich. There's no reason to stay here. Very well then, if you want us to leave, we shall leave, and hopefully we will never see each other ever again. Yeah, there is a lot of exploring we can do here in Lunarvale. Very much so, and actually, well, I didn't want to do that, but you can rotate the map very easily enough. But I want to go down here first, before we head into the center of town. No, this isn't it. This is further ahead. We want to head in here because the house with the blue roof on it is TJ's house. Which, as you can see, is very small, and yeah, there's a reason for that, given the fact that they're not very well off. Yeah, $20 million mansion. That's how much Nate's house costs. Spoiled brat indeed. And we actually met TJ herself, and we have to tell Mary about the fact that she's going to return her book. In any case, yeah, that's probably would actually be a good thing for Nate to do. Then again, I imagine Alfred's salary is quite, well, lucrative, shall we say. That's TJ's house. Oh yeah, there are pedestrian crossings, and there is traffic because Lunarvale is a pretty big city, and we pretty much have to wait for traffic to stop before we can move on. And I want to visit the clinic first, well, just to show that it's there. It's just in this alleyway here. Nice to know that, well, we're going to the hospital anyway, but why we couldn't just stop in a clinic, well, that is to say that Mary is staying in the main Lunarvale hospital. And apparently Miss Smith was a student at St. Hermelin. I actually did not know that. And apparently St. Hermelin is well known in Lunarvale, which is interesting. Why would you go to a hospital unless it was something serious? And apparently this nurse was also a student, as was Guido Sardinia, the branch president of Sebec. Ah, and apparently this nurse was friends with Miss Smith. Yeah, it's a very small town indeed. We don't need to talk to the doctor, but that was some interesting little tidbits that we got there. Of course, we'll still need to head to the hospital at any rate. There's a shrine that we don't really need to visit at any point, but just wait for these cars to pass by, and yes, we can sidestep. Head across the road to the store over here. If I have... No, I haven't passed it. It's only just around the corner on this block. There it is, the Yin and Yang store, where, well, you'll soon see. Yeah, this is Yukino's part-time job. At this particular Yin and Yang store, there are several of them in Lunarvale. Yeah, that's a good thing. Otherwise, well, we have to be responsible every now and again. And apparently Yukino is planning on studying photography in Paris. I've been to Paris a very long time ago. It was a fairly nice place, if a little congested, with its 7-lane roundabouts. And even Nate is surprised by the fact that Yukino works at a place like this, and I have to actually share his sentiment. I can't imagine her wearing that red uniform and smiling at customers. And Mark wonders why Yukino is so serious about her work. Well, she's dedicated, which is a very important thing for someone who wants to study photography overseas. There are 4 subway terminals in the center of town that we can actually go into. And we'll go across here because we don't have to cross traffic that way. And I think I'll show off the Sun Mall first. There are 2 malls here in Lunarvale. There's the Sun Mall and there's the Joy Street Mall. We'll be going into this one first, having a little bit of a look around. And as you can hear, the crowds are quite busy here in the Sun Mall. But there is a strange door over here. And apparently there's an Augustus tree in a room in the middle of a shopping mall. Why there's a tree inside a shopping mall? Well, I would understand if there was a tree in a shopping mall, but why there would be a tree in a small room in a shopping mall is another matter. Don't yield to the power of demons. Bye-bye. Yeah, the Augusta tree is... yeah. How an Augusta tree can talk, I don't know. Maybe we're just going crazy. Not really sure what this shop is, but I'm sure we'll find out. Then again, maybe not. I actually have no idea of what the store is actually supposed to be called. Yeah, we still need to go to the hospital. Yeah, kids actually, kids still eat junk food, although in your case you've got a small case of typo there. Where is, oh, you're over here. Alfred is probably the best butler, never letting you eat that kind of food. With 1 bite, 1,000 years added, 2 bites, 10,000 years will be added to your lifespan. I sincerely doubt that. We've got a lot of, well, interesting candy, but we're not interested. Yeah, we don't want to get sick before we arrive at the hospital. And there's a Peace Diner over here, because why not? Arg, my video is lagging again. That's a very annoying thing. And apparently there's someone over here that wants to move to the big city and live by herself. Might be nice for you, but then again, Nate does have a point there. Although Mark would love to live by himself, not necessarily in a mansion. Apparently that student is a friend of Alana's, which is why she behaves the way that she does. But anyway, let's get some food. I know we said we weren't going to eat junk food, but then again, it never hurts to have a burger here at Peace Diner. Do you mind if I got takeout? Or takeaway? I'm sure you would. I don't think they allow fast food in hospitals. Now, I'll try to make sure that the lag is not as bad, so give me a moment and I'll try and work something out. No, it's not going to, it's going to be one of those episodes, unfortunately. But there is a room with the blue door, curiously titled Velvet Room. The store is closed, however. Maybe it's a new chain or something. And this is Judgment 1999. Aaron or Melon? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Ellen is who you're talking about. How about no? Yeah, we should probably head off to the hospital at some point. And of course, Alan did spend a lot of time in Europe and overseas, so of course people would know who she is. Indeed, nothing is ever as it seems. We're not going to gamble per se at this point. This person just wasted all his money. Yeah, that often happens. Gambling isn't fair. That's just the simple reality of it. But we don't have time to gamble. We've got more exploring to do. Again, I apologize for the lag. There's a shop known as Rosa Candida. I'm exploring these stores now, so I don't have to explore most of the ones in the other mall. But apparently there's someone here that knows Mark. Quite well, in fact. Apparently it's his mother's friend, although that's actually a localization switch, because in reality, in Megami Ibanroku Persona, the person here isn't a friend of Mark's mother, but it's Mark's mother herself. Don't know why they changed it in Revelations, but oh well. Although then again, it might just be Mark not wanting us to know that this woman is his mother. Well, no, they did change it. Again, don't know why. Yeah, Mark really doesn't get along with his mother in the slightest. Well, again, technically she's already standing before us, Yukino, but again, localization. Yeah, Mark really isn't on good terms with his mother. And that was Rosa Candida. A nice little clothes store. There's also a pharmacy here, but we won't go into that just yet. Any more stores? I don't think so. I think this is, well, pretty much it here for the Sunmore. And we head back outside into the noisy traffic. Back out into glorious Lunarvale. And there's some more clinics to venture off to. Such as this one here. We could venture inside. It's probably the same as the other clinic. There are actually quite a few clinics here in Lunarvale, which is kind of surprising. Shall speak to you. Apparently this place was built quite recently. And we don't need to be checked up by the clinics, so yes, they did. That is a completely brand new gym there. Yeah, we still need to go to Lunarvale General Hospital. And again, I apologize for the lag. It's, and apparently Yukino has never been to the hospital before. I think I think you've been sent many times. Somebody definitely messed up that translation there. Oh well, this is Revelation's persona. Mark wonders why don't we just go to the hospital right away. Well, that's because we have more world building to do and more city to explore. Well, I suppose it's a town, not necessarily a city as such, although it is a city by my standards. And you know what, I'm actually going to head to that Augusta tree at the top there. If I can get across the road. Oh, you're gonna... Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed. Thank you very much. And, just checking my map to make sure... Yes, it is this way. There are two Augusta trees here in Lunarvale, surprisingly enough. This one here, and another one on the east side of town. So we're going to talk to this one. And we are actually going to save, because I want to get rid of this lag as much as possible. I apologize for it, but that's just how it is. And apparently we save by carving our record onto the trunk of the Augusta tree, or Augustus tree, as it's known as in Revelations, which is probably what we did with Dr. Beverly's Augustus tree in the infirmary. But this is how we save, by vandalizing trees. And of course, if we save the old, well, override our save. Because why not? Because that's how we used to save, and that's how we still save on PlayStation titles. And our file has been saved. And, well, I believe with that, that is the end of this particular episode of Let's Play Revelations Persona, and when we return, adventurers, we shall continue exploring the rest of Lunarvale before finally making it to the General Hospital and getting a checkup and meeting Mary, who is probably sick of waiting for us by now. As always, adventurers, until next we meet.